Hi everyone, you alright? Alan here from the Alan Cairns Daily Blog YouTube channel. Yeah, just hope everybody's okay. As you can see, it's 11:56, nearly midnight. I've just thought I'd just come on and say hello to everybody and let everybody know I haven't disappeared. Yeah. Well, I'd like to give a big massive shout out to everybody who does blogs. And, well, what a fiasco that is going on. We'll have to wait and see what happens. They're now saying 15th of May. Well, I've got a funny feeling it's not. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be longer than that. Yeah. What a lot can I say about it? I've been sat in the house for over a month now, and basically, what's happening is that the situation, as we call it, people have been going out the house and going places, but what I am going to say is I don't blame them, because they're getting fed up. Understand Lancashire Police have had, that's the police force that's has my area, is basically getting a lot more domestic reports because people can't stand it. People, like, normally, normal life, you go out, you do your job, you do your job, and you, as I say, you do your job, and most of those hours that you're doing your job, you're both separated. But what's tending to happen with this lockdown is that, you know, you're just getting under each other's feet, and you also got your kid. If you've got kids, it's going to be even worse. Mum, Dad, I want to go out, and that in itself can become a problem. So that's why the government is having so many problems. People aren't used to being cooped up in the house and and having the choice to go somewhere, you know, or we'll jump in car and just go for a drive out someplace. Under the curfew, under the lockdown rules, you're not even allowed to do that. You're meant to really mainly go out for essential things like food, medication, etc. You're not well, exercise. How do you define that? You know, you're not even meant to go to the park. You know what I mean? Not meant to, because you know, you have to basically, you know, spacing 6 foot apart from each other. Social spacing, they call it. Well, a lot of people are getting pissed off with it. Pardon my French. And they've got kids that go, Mum, I'm getting fed up with this. You know, that's the reason why things are going where they're going. And people are basically losing their patience with other people, because there are quite a few from day one never bothered with social spacing at all, and basically turn round and say, well, it's just the way it is, etc. Well, I'm wondering what the mall's going to be like when this situation's over with. Because, like in my last video, I said there'd be quite a fair few shops disappearing. If anybody's been in town and I've been round the mall in Blackburn, sneakily do a video. Yeah, do a video sneakily and show me how bad it is. Because I know Boots is open, because it has to be open for prescriptions. And I know that I think it's Superdrug. Superdrug is open. I know Morrison's is open. And one or two other supermarkets, and quite a few of the other supermarkets. But you're only meant to get essential items. Yeah. Yeah, so if anybody's in town, sneakily get some video of Blackburn and put it up and show people what it's really like at the moment. As soon as I can, and when this lockdown officially ends, I will be doing that. Because when this lockdown finishes, and during this lockdown, there are going to be store casualties. It's like I said in my other blog. The amount of stores that are having difficulties, like Debenhams, Top Man, Top Shop, you know, it's just going to be one of them things. It's going to kill them. And a lot of the small businesses are going to feel it as well. During the time before, there were quite a few small businesses. There's a shop as you go in near I think it was next to Sports Direct. I think it was called Red 60 Red, something like that. That shop's gone. And how many more are those that? But the major problem with that, you've got Gems directly behind it, near to the Virgin Media, which was next door to the Virgin Media shop. I don't know if the Virgin Media store has gone or not. But small shops like that, very if, shall we say, because basically they're one-man bands, shall we say. They've no real shall we say Gems only has a few stores. It's like Strawberry Moon. There's another shop that sells t-shirts and clothing. I went in it. I thought, I'll go in and get a t-shirt. They wanted 30 quid for it. I thought, Blackburn is not that sort of town. And we'll see what happens in a few months' time, see if that shop disappears. Because, to be truthful, Blackburn is a bit of a crappy northern town, surrounded by other crappy little northern towns. And the town council is trying to portray that Blackburn is a city. Well, I'm sorry guys, but it's not. It's not. And they're trying to do city stuff. But the real truth is, it's 99p land. 99p land. And they were talking about putting a technology park up by the hospital. And G&G Euro Garages are building a new headquarters. But the thing is, Blackburn will never be taken seriously. You know, won't be taken seriously at all. Like, the investment is basically going to places like Salford. Like everybody knows my views on that. And for what I do know, they're meant to be building some new housing in the town centre. If that's true or not, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But Blackburn has got these grand ideas, but they're just not following through with them. Because, to be truthful, if I was an investor, I wouldn't bring it here. No, definitely not. But as soon as I get out of here and have a walk around town, and we'll be able to see how much this has affected the town. And if Amazon's out there and they see this, more Amazon goes, please. Because I think you should put some in the UK, because it'll basically shake the retail business up a little bit. Because I think that would be a good thing to introduce in the UK. And plus, Amazon, if you're listening, that will give delivery drivers for Amazon less distance to travel. Because, they wouldn't have to travel as far to pick groceries up and stuff. Yeah, I'd like to see more Amazon goals. And, because if they can do it in other countries, they can do it here. And what I'd like, one of the things that I'd like to see, Blackpool. Get rid of some of these so-called hot dog stands. Get them to automate it a bit. Do what they do in Singapore, Taiwan, and other countries. Japan, I think the other one's Japan, I think. And instead of putting hot dog stands and stuff, put vending machines there. Because you can get vending machines that actually make the product. And, instant pizza. Because like I see it in amusement parks in Holland. It's like a drawer. And, well, it's a group of drawers. And what they basically do they sit behind this group of absolute banker drawers, and have it labelled what's in them, and then it has like heat lamps in each one of them, and they put, they use gloves and stuff when they make them. A lot of them are freshly made, and they put them in the drawer, and that's how it's done. They slowly cook whilst they're under that light sort of thing, like a heat lamp. But after so many hours, they're cooked all the way through, and that will be a good thing. And plus, you could put food vending machines on bus stations that can do hot food. It's an idea. If other countries can do that, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, and one or two other places, they even have they have them in the airports, on railway stations as well. Instead of putting a cafe there, they put a vending machine there, or vending machines there. People are saying, oh, vandals, machine might get robbed. Well, folks, you don't put money in a lot of these, because a lot of other countries like Japan, Taiwan and Singapore, you have your contactless card, right? That's another thing I'm going to touch on. You tap it with your contactless card. Tap, tap. That's the other thing I've started to notice. A lot of shops and stores are actually, in a lot of cases, are going to stop accepting notes. In one or two supermarkets in the UK, right, a woman went in and she was going to pay a shopping bill, and she was just about to get her money out. She gets her money out, and she was about to hand it to cashier, and cashier turned around and said, "No, I'm not taking that. Have you got a contactless card?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Contactless card, please." Because the limit on contactless cards now has been moved from £30 to £43. And I've got this inkling that the government's going to turn round and say, wow, remove the limit on it. And then, basically, for what I know, the Bank of England and the Royal Mint are basically, yes, they've printed a lot of notes, but not as many notes as they usually do. because everything is basically virtual money. Virtual money. And that's the way it's going to go. Because a lot of shops, as I said, are basically refusing to take notes because of the situation that we're in. Because I think it was G4S, large money transporter, has said that cash deliveries are down because of the situation. People don't want to touch notes just in case, just in case, because they think that if they touch something, if they touch a note, they don't know how many hands that note's been in. Even though there's a plastic note, acrylic note, they don't know how many layers of bacteria there's on that note. That's the reason why there's a few stores out there who won't take cash anymore. So this is also another thing that was come up, that we are going to move. I think this might speed things up, that we might end up going towards a cashless society. Because reason why I think that is because there are fewer and fewer cash machines being put in to shopping areas. And there's been quite a few instances that a cash machine has been put in and say 2, 3, maybe 4 years later, that cash machine is therefore removed. And it's gone. The reason why that is, in some cases, well, in quite a lot of cases when they remove the cash machines, is basically to get people to use contactless. So, folks, don't be surprised if the contactless limit on your card goes up. And the other thing is, I reckon in the next few years they'll start cutting down on how many notes there are in circulation, so that basically to push a cashless society, everything's done digitally. Well, that's what's going to happen. And on to another subject, 5G. People have been saying that 5G is to blame, is a problem. Well, I'm sorry to say, guys, it's not. It's not the problem to this situation now. And all those people who've been going around wrecking cell towers, burning them and all that, you're completely, totally misguided. and yeah, really, you bunch, really, they're a bunch of buffoons, and that's what I really think. So, give it a rest, guys, because those types of people, if you do that sort of thing, you're harming the country. And basically, you'll go away for a long time if you're caught. I think it's 15 years, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's between 10 to 15. So, well, I'm gonna bugger off and go to bed in a short while. So think again, guys. If you think 5G causes diseases, well, think again. Think again. Very soon. If we didn't have 5G, you wouldn't have any nice phone. You won't get any nice phones. Oh, and that's another thing. Carphone Warehouse. They're not going to be around for much longer, guys, because they will be closing a lot of shops. And I've got a funny feeling PC World are going to be pretty niffed as well, because they charge Carphone Warehouse for having stores the concept with a store within a store concept. That's going to basically knock the stuffing out of them. Will it affect will it make PC World think about things a bit more? Will they they'll have to put something else in their store? Maybe a Dell outlet. Well, there's a few things for you to think about, and we'll soon find out when I actually come out of this situation. When we come out of this situation, I will go around Blackburn, like I said, and we'll see if the parking is still trading. Phil, if you're out there, I hope everything's okay, mate. And yeah, we'll see how many market stock. People have seen videos of me doing Blackburn Market. What's it going to be like after this situation? I don't know. If anybody, as I said, if anybody's in town, Blackburn, Blackpool areas, get some videos up. And show people what is actually going on in your area, retail wise. And that's one of the things I will be doing. I will have a walk round and see and find out what the retail situation is. Because over this time, I reckon there will be casualties. Well, I'm going to leave it for now. I've been on here for 36 minutes. So, if you want, tell your friends and share the video or whatever. And like and subscribe and all that business. So it's bye for now. 3, 2, 1, click.